One of the most popular Christian YouTubers once said that all faith-based entertainment that came before The Chosen, and of course the work of he and his peers, was all cheesy and goofy, basically not worth your trouble to watch or listen to, and he and his co-host had a nice little laugh about it. Seeing as how I spent the better part of 3 decades in the entertainment industry, and the first few years were exclusively in Christian entertainment, I might have a little something to say about that, and I'm going to start with a movie.
Sanity runs in my family. Practically gallant.
I'm talking each brain, don't act like you didn't know I'm insane. I'm a train wreck, denim in your head. The dance of the dead months under your bed. Got no limits and got no lines. I'm over the edge and out.
Megiddo, the Omega Code 2, tells the story of two brothers on opposite sides of a prophecy that's been building since the dawn of history. Stone Alexander rises to power as a charismatic world leader, but behind the speeches and diplomacy lies a darker ambition, one that pulls the world toward its final conflict. His brother David becomes the last line of resistance, caught between political reality and a spiritual war unfolding in plain sight. The film brings surprising weight thanks to a cast of genre icons. Michael York anchors the story with a commanding presence, while Udo Kier brings his signature intensity to the forces moving behind the scenes. Michael Biehn adds a grounded military edge. Franco Nero lends gravitas to the world's stakes, and R. Lee Ermey delivers the kind of authority only he can as President of the United States. Visually, Megiddo blends large-scale practical effects with early 2000s digital work that was very ambitious for its time. From political intrigue to apocalyptic spectacle, the film builds toward the plains of Megiddo, where technology, prophecy, and human will collide in a final confrontation between good and evil. Hey, all you drive-in mutants and pop culture junkies! You Gen X fans of all shapes and sizes and ages, welcome to Unconformed Media. I'm Jerry, and today we're going to be talking about the end of the world. Well, we're going to talk about a movie about the end of the world. It's a faith-based Christian film. You might even say a faith-based Christian horror movie called Megiddo.
I was here before, when these walls stood tall, when this soil was turned red with spilled blood. Oh, the flowers that bloomed.
Nourished by the blood of your enemies.
I was here when the Egyptians turned back the Canaanites, 1,000 years before the Nazarene came into this world. But nothing compares to the battle that is coming.
And he gathered them together in a place called Armageddon.
He who controls Jerusalem at the end of days
shall rule the world.
Precisely.
While I was shopping late at night, or groceries, because late at night is when I did my grocery shopping, like the song says, up all night, sleep all day. That's how I lived. I always went back to the electronics section and checked out the VHS tapes that they had, because this was when DVD was on its way in and VHS was on its way out. So you could pick up VHS tapes dirt cheap. Well, as I'm going through, I find a new VHS tape. This. The Omega Code 2, Megiddo. Like a good Gen Xer, of course, I flipped it around and looked at the back. When I saw that imagery and read this description, I thought, okay, toss it in the cart. This is for me. I was really surprised when I found out this was TBN Films. It's made by a church. This is a Christian movie. My roommate's sitting in the chair next to me, and we're kind of looking at each other, not knowing what to expect, of course. But we were pleasantly surprised. Yeah, we start out with a young Antichrist, sort of a Damien type figure, like Damien from The Omen. And we get introduced to him doing something pretty disturbing.
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
Well, after he does that disturbing thing that he did, he gets shipped off to military school, where he doesn't fit in very well with the other kids. That becomes obvious. He's pretty different, and he hightails it out in the middle of the night to go to this creepy, dark old church where he encounters his dark priest and guardian, played by Udo Kier, of course, because who else would play a character like this, who anoints him as the Antichrist.
Young master, we have waited so long. Bless me, so that I may serve you in this our quest. Give me strength to spread your message over the earth. Sanquia malum, ducati calda. Quis vivat in tenebris, reget mundum. He that lives in darkness shall rule the world.
Dominos, Ego.
It's not all dark, though. There's actually some romance in this movie. Yeah, the Antichrist falls in love as much as an Antichrist can fall in love. Maybe a little more like obsession and possession. But we do get to see some pretty nice scenes of the two of them that turn a little weird at one point.
See the cats? They are everywhere. And 2,000 years ago, lions and tigers were kept here. They were used to kill the Christians.
Yes, the people loved it, I remember.
Well, of course, her father does not approve of this. Her father, by the way, played by Franco Nero, who is in charge of the military school. He definitely does not approve, and he voices that. But that doesn't stop the Antichrist.
You're a natural-born leader, son, but you lack any sense of humanity.
I don't want my daughter exposed to someone like you.
Nevertheless, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep us apart.
Really?
In return for your permission to see Gabriella, I'll not only allow you to keep your academy, but I'll give you something even more important.
You think your father's money allows you to threaten me in such a manner?
I'll inform your father that you're no longer welcome here.
You will give me what I want, and in return, I will give you your soul. Your immortal soul.
Well, he adapts to military school as he gets older, that's for sure. Matter of fact, he's practically running the place. And maybe he fits in and adapts just a little too well for his father's taste.
Excuse me, General.
I don't know what you've made of my son, General.
Believe me when I say to you, I don't think either one of us had a hand in making him.
Well, eventually he becomes head of the EU, and he's now played by Michael York. And we're only roughly halfway through the movie at this point, by the way. His brother becomes Vice President of the United States, played by Michael Biehn. And then the President of the United States is played by none other than R. Lee Ermey. After seeing this, I wanted to vote for R. Lee Ermey for president.
I will ascend to heaven, and it has come to pass.
I can't believe you're related to this old boy.
Maybe he was left on my parents' doorstep.
By a pack of wolves.
I will raise my throne above the stars, and it has...
Do you believe this madman?
I have the Chancellor online.
Put it on screen.
I'm staying in the Middle East zone for another day, but when I return to Rome on Wednesday, I shall expect you to be there.
I'm a very busy man, Chancellor.
Mr. President, the future of the world is at stake.
What exactly is that supposed to mean?
Ah, man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority. It means, sir, that my people will meet your plane in Rome in 30 hours.
Admiral, what is the location of our Sixth Fleet at this time?
Just off the coast of Italy, sir.
Well, I'd say that's a mighty fine place for them. Wouldn't you, gentlemen?
Well, eventually the Antichrist is revealed. He reveals all his powers to the world as he sets out for world domination, and everybody bows to him, except the United States is still holding out. But yeah, he's ready to establish his new kingdom.
This is my blood, spilled by my enemies. Drink it and vanquish. This is my flesh, made foul with sin. Eat it and rejoice in my new kingdom. that oppose me, for they shall be cut down like winter wheat. My wrath shall sweep like a dark tide over the suffering land. Oh, woe to those who stand in the path of my righteousness. Oh, woe.
Well, by this point, he's discarded Gabriella. He has no more use for her. And she realizes who he is or what he is. And she heads out to Latin America, where the plagues are devastating all of the villages, and tries to help people, I guess, to sort of redeem herself. And we get some touching scenes there.
What kind of God looks at what's happening here and does nothing?
Even God won't force us to do good. We must choose the good for others.
Well, we get to the point where God is none too happy with the world for bowing down to this man. And he's letting the world know. You know, like I mentioned, we're already getting plagues. Now we're getting comets raining down from the skies. And that doesn't seem to deter the Antichrist at all. Matter of fact, he's challenging God, telling him, do his worst.
So, after an eternity of waiting,
the end is in sight. Yes.
Don't you understand that? They believe in me now. Me! Yes, test them. Give them tribulation. Spill out your bowls of wrath. Unleash your plagues. I challenge you! Bravo! Well done! But you can do better than that! Go! Pour out your bowls of wrath upon the earth! Bring it on!
Well, all of that, of course, leads up to the big battle, where they gather on the plains of Megiddo for what became known today as the Battle of Armageddon. And as that prophecy unfolds, we really see some twists, turns, explosions. We see some pretty wild stuff happening. And I'm telling you, this was a very ambitious film for its time, especially. They made great use of practical effects, digital effects, and miniatures that is pretty amazing, especially for the time, and especially for a faith-based film. I mean, this was the time of movies like Left Behind. So, nothing against Kirk Cameron, and I loved him in Growing Pains, but not a fan of the movie, and I definitely have my theological differences with Kirk. I still just didn't love the movie. It wasn't that great, and I think most people agree with that. This, however, definitely light years beyond what they did with Left Behind, and definitely a lot better than Bible Man, I'll tell you that. Well, I highly recommend this movie to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, if you have any faith or no faith at all. This is just all around a good movie, and you should definitely check it out. It's available, as I showed you, on VHS. It's also available on DVD with some pretty good special features. There's a very nice behind-the-scenes making of showing the work with miniatures and some of the digital effects. Pretty good stuff. And if you're using a 4K player that's maybe a Panasonic that has the HCX processor in it for upscaling, this looks pretty good. You can also get it on Amazon Prime. Right now it is included with Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. Or you can watch a much lesser version of it as far as quality is concerned on YouTube. So there's that option. But no Blu-ray in sight, which is something I am going to be talking about in some other videos. I do have another video coming up about a movie that's just kind of vanishing from history. And this may become one of those one day. I hope not. And I hope I can encourage enough people to watch it and talk about it that we don't let things like that happen to this movie and many others that I'll talk about in the future. But there's going to be much more to come in this series. I'm going to have movies, series of various genres. I'll be talking about music, including heavy metal, punk, alternative, industrial, even death metal, and rap. There's all kinds of good faith-based stuff from back in the 90s and some today that's definitely worth talking about and definitely worth checking out, no matter what your personal faith is. This video and all future videos dealing with this topic will be available on both Unconformed Media and my other channel, Unconformed World, which is primarily a faith-based channel. And you'll be able to just go to the playlist. There will be a playlist for all the videos that I do in this series on both channels. So watch it on either channel you want. I hope you check out more of these because I promise you there's going to be some stuff you're really going to enjoy. So for now, I'll say farewell, pop culture nerds, and remember, it's hip to be square, so corrode your conformity.
Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows he has a short time.